We've owned our 2017 Toyota RAV4 GXL for about 5 months now and have found there's plenty to like about the little SUV. But at the same time, there's been, well, a number of things that we haven't really wanted to write home about, so to speak. Let's take a closer look. The RAV4 scored a comprehensive facelift for the 2016 model year, and the styling, especially in our car's glacier white, got a resounding tick from the team. It's modern and funky, and in that typical Toyota fashion, broadly appealing. We think the contrasting colours on ours make it look like a Star Wars stormtrooper too. Now, what wasn't such a winner though was the flex tone package. This silver trim here. Now, in isolation it actually looks quite good, but it costs $1,000 extra, and while that alone makes it a bit of a waste of money, the pack also comes with this, a dark headliner, which is quite smart, but it makes the interior of the RAV4 a bit dark and gloomy, and almost cave-like. But what we do love about the inside of the RAV is the space. Check it out, I've got heaps of toe, knee and headroom. These seats recline, there's a centre armrest. It really is a very, very spacious, medium-sized SUV. Plus the space doesn't stop here. The boot is 577 litres with the seats up. They fold to give you more room, and I've had a full-size mountain bike in the back of this thing and it fit fine. You get a cargo blind, plus my favourite, the cargo hammock. You can put fragile items or fruit and veg in here so it doesn't roll around in the boot. It really is a very usable cabin, perfect for the myriad of uses that a family or lifestyle SUV is going to have thrown at it. Right, well, another big thumbs up for the RAV4 is the amount of standard equipment found on this mid-spec GXL model. We've chosen the optional tech pack as well, which adds some pretty cool driver assistance features, including radar adaptive cruise control and lane departure warning. It is a $2,500 option, but to be honest, I think it's worth it. Now up here you get navigation, DAB digital radio, and even support for the Toyota Link mobile application. Now, I didn't love the sign-in process for the Toyota Link app, and the app itself can be a bit clunky, but the way you can send a destination from your phone to the car, and even some of the dynamic information that's provided here, like live fuel prices or even the rain radar on the weather app, well, it's some pretty cool information. It's the sort of thing you don't find even on some high-end European models. All right then, let's go for a drive. Now, as a first point, the interior of the RAV is actually a really nice place to spend time. The materials are pretty basic, but they are quite nice. This leatherette on the dash, a particular standout. The ergonomics, though, are a bit of a sticking point. Yes, the car is well featured, as we've seen, but there are some elements like turning the car on, for instance. We're always hitting the hill descent control button because it's hidden behind the steering wheel and is right next to the start button. Sport mode and eco mode buttons are basically impossible to see down there, and some of the navigation points on the infotainment system, well, they can be a little bit tricky to use while on the move. Up and running though, the RAV4's been, well, a pretty easy thing to live with. It's light and nimble enough around town, and equally at home, out here on the open road. Under the bonnet of our RAV is the 2.5 litre 4-cylinder petrol engine, which has got 132 kilowatts and 233 newton metres available. It's not a bad engine, but we've seen it running around 10 litres per 100, which is a bit above what Toyota claim. Get out on the open road, and well, that doesn't really settle. It's comfortable, it tours well, it's very well behaved, but that fuel consumption, well, it basically compromises the RAV4's range, and we're lucky to see 500 k's to a tank, even on a long tour, and frankly, that's not good enough. Now, while the petrol engine works well around town, if you are going to be doing a lot of touring in your RAV4, then I'd recommend the 2.2 litre diesel. Yes, it costs a little bit more and is down a bit on power than the petrol, but it tours very well. You're going to see at least a 2 litre per 100 fuel consumption saving on the diesel, plus you get the added bonus of some extra range, which is going to come in very handy. Now, another area where the RAV4 GXL feels particularly well featured is off the beaten track. You've got the hill descent control that we know only too well, constant all-wheel drive, even a centre diff lock that allows you to split torque 50-50 front to rear for added grip for when the going gets a little tough. Now, for a regular run-of-the-mill mid-spec family SUV, that's a pretty solid feature set. But before you think of entering the Dakar Rally in your RAV, take a look at this. Right, well check out that exhaust front pipe. It's really low. If you're negotiating wheel ruts, even mild ones, that's going to be susceptible to damage from rocks and tree roots. Not ideal. But look, I haven't really been keeping score throughout this whole thing. The RAV4 is going to have, well, more ticks than crosses. And for me at least, it has been a great little car, especially around town. But if you're in the market and are thinking of touring, then take my advice. Go for the diesel, ditch the FlexTone pack and get your dealer to set up the Toyota Link application before you leave the showroom. Hopefully then your RAV will look after you and there'll be many happy miles in your little Stormtrooper.